Hello, guys, and welcome to Agbedo TV, also known as the other side of the story. It has been trending recently, the skirmishes, the sort of hula baloo between the convener for APC, Bola Tinubu, and the president of Nigeria, Buhari, that they are having some sort of misunderstanding. Tinubu, the convener for APC, has accused the presidency, including Buhari, President Buhari, of working against him, working against his success. And this one has been re-echoed by the governor of Kaduna State, Governor Nazir El-Rufai. Both of them stated they accused the presidency of working against Tinubu, not, trying to block him from the chance of winning the president of Nigeria in this next coming election. What is the problem? The problem is that Tinubu is saying that the president is working against him. I tried to block him from becoming the president of Nigeria, maybe because of one thing or the other. And then the second is that they also accuse the presidency, they accuse INEC, of allowing the use of BEVAS, which is used for the accreditation of voters. This is just the device they use to, pass voters before they vote. Because the APC was against it, they shouldn't use this BEVAS. They know that when they use it, this BEVAS is digital. When they use it, it's not going to give them any luck. It's going to close that avenue for ringing, which they are very used to, which is their main way of winning, winning elections. So they wanted the president to instruct INEC not to use these BEVAS, but the president has refused. So that is another area where they're having this misunderstanding. Another area where they have this misunderstanding is that the president supported the redesign of Naira. The president, the governor of Central Bank, MFLA, was working with the president of Nigeria, and the new note has been is out. The old Naira has been redesigned, and now they are going on with the distribution of this new Naira. Anyway, the problem about this Naira is not what I want to talk about in this episode. I don't want to talk because that one has got a lot of problem. But what I know is that the president, the presidential candidate for APC, Bola Tinubu, is at long ahead with President Buhari because he's trying to suspect some sort of suspicious, move by the presidency, not to, or maybe the presidency is not supporting him to win. Most especially, he said that he was the one that brought the president to power. I don't know, but that was his words. And another thing is that the president is also seeing it, from his own perspective to make sure that this election should be free and fair. The president has told APC presidential candidate Tinubu that he wants a free and fair election. He doesn't want to support anybody. He can campaign for APC, but it doesn't mean that he has to support what is not right. The election has to be transparent, and everything has to be fair, and they have to see everything. Anyway, there is one gentleman that really spoke very well about this subject. Why, why there's discrepancy, why there's sort of skirmishes or this out of misunderstanding or hula baloo between President Buhari and the presidential candidate for APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I will show you, so you watch the video now and you can judge for yourself. Thank you.
The last few days have seen the most vitriolic and vehement attack by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the All Progressives Congress against the person and the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because the President is not prepared to budge and give in to the use of state machinery to rig the 2023 election. For the records, the President had promised to deliver a free and fair election as a legacy before he bows out. The All Progressives Congress, knowing that they do not have anything to present to the Nigerian people, are bent on using the institutions of the state and instruments of the state to rig the election. And because he has refused, it is now an all-out war against the president. At first, in Kano, they said the Kano was not ready for him to come because of his insistence on the restriction on Naira. He extended it by a few days. They said he could come to Kano, yet he was stoned. And then secondly, they now doubled down on their campaign by visiting even the members of his cabinet and people that walk around him as a reason behind their travel and that they do not want them to win. They will come for Osibanjo. They will come for many others who will not want to bow to the idea of using state machinery to rig the election. Let's be clear. The president supports his party to win the election, but he wants the winning to be free and fair, and he does not want to confer any unfair advantage to his political party. That's the way to go because of three things. Number one, the president cannot afford to rubbish his legacy as he bows out. Number two, the president knows the consequence of any president who rigs an election before he leaves. And thirdly, the whole world is looking at Nigeria at this pivotal moment. The election must be free and fair. And therefore, we call on Nigerians to take note of this fact that all of this uncalled attack against the person of the president is simply because the president is not prepared to allow them to rig the election. At first, they started by demanding that the INEC chairman be removed because the INEC chairman refused to bow out from the use of the BEVAS, as Iwaju had expressed that in London. And secondly, the Naira restriction, which is aimed at stopping vote buying. They were putting pressure on the president to extend it long after election in order to allow them to use the money they stash in many safe havens around the country to use for the vote buying. That is not possible, even though it has been extended, if it is, in fact, for the masses. But yet those who are complaining aren't the masses in Nigeria. So we know the truth. The truth is that big men and big politicians who want to come together and use money to weaponize poverty in Nigeria and rig the election are prepared. And because the system will not permit them to do that, anything in the kitchen sink is a weapon. They will come for any and every person who stands in the way of their attempt to rig the election. But please be encouraged as fellow citizens. As a country, we have resisted military interregnum, and therefore we will resist any civilian dynastic attack against the institution and the democracy that we all love to protect and promote. Therefore, Nigerians, take note that in the coming days, do not allow anybody to intimidate you. Do not allow anybody to intimidate the President of the Federal Republic. We all stand with the President in respect of the Naira restriction and some of the policies of the government that would deliver a free, credible, and fair process in Nigeria. We call on the international community to take note, especially the American government, on the sanctions that they are prepared to impose on those who will compromise the election. And let them take note of individuals, and let them take note of systems and even law enforcement who are participatory or who are accessory to this attempt to destroy democracy in Nigeria.